Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Sylvia Palmer.
Okay.
Olivia Holmes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Sylvia Palmer.
Ladies,
Okay.
we have all your names and everything.
Okay, good. Wonderful. Let me
Yeah.
go.
Your names automatically come up. Yeah. Or your phone number. So we automatically know who's who.
Okay.
Who's the one that says Sarah? Who's Sarah? Again.
Good morning, Lucy Watson.
I got everybody's information except Sarah. Someone says Sarah's. Who has Sarah on theirs?
Maybe that
Who's
is
that?
Sarah
You know what?
Williams.
That might be me. Let me look.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, there you go.
it's me. I'll fix it right now.
Okay, thank you.
This is Beverly Tiggs.
Thank
Hello.
you, lady. Go ahead and mute your phones once you get on.
Okay, this is Beverly Tiggs.
Yes, Miss Higgs, we got you. Thank you. *6 if you're on the phone.
All right.
Lucy Watson. I got it. Okay.
Hello.
Come on. Come on my phone.
Hello.
Ladies, make sure you mute your phone. Yes, ma'am. Make sure y'all mute
All
your
right
phone.
then. All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah. Yes, ladies, we have y'all.
Okay.
Are you guys looking at the screen? Look at the screen, everybody.
Miss Constant, I'm looking at the screen. This is Dorothy Jones. I'm looking.
She wants y'all to read it and follow the rule.
I'm trying my best.
We're gonna have a pop quiz on it later on.
Good morning. I'm Knighton.
Hi, Ms. Knighton.
Good morning.
All right, ladies, if you're not on Zoom, you need to *6 on your phone so we don't pick up background noise. If you're on Zoom, remember it's the little microphone.
I technically are at a meeting.
Oh, well, it's nice to meet you this one time.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Miss Branch, you're on the Galaxy, correct?
I am on the Galaxy. Hi. This is Beverly
All right,
Tiggs.
ladies. Right.
I'm on the
Ladies,
Galaxy.
Okay, we have Miss Tiggs.
Okay. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, this is May
Hi,
Jackson.
ladies.
Hey,
If you're on the
Good, how are
phone,
you?
it's stars. If you're on the phone, it's mute to *6. If you're on Zoom, it's the little microphone that's right next to the camera.
Melissa, can you hear me?
We can. We're picking up a lot of background noise, ladies. That's why I'm asking y'all to mute. Thank you.
Okay.
Please read what's on the screen.
Hello?
Hi,
can
ladies.
anyone hear me?
Yes,
Yeah, I
ma'am.
can hear you. Yes. Can you hear me? I'm on the phone. Can anybody hear me? I hear whoever that is asking.
Yes.
This is
Yes,
Juanita.
we hear you. We hear you, Juanita.
We hear you, Miss McCoy.
Okay. All right. This is May Jackson. Am I on? Hello?
Yes, Miss Jackson.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm still in the meeting. How are you?
It's so quiet. Everybody doesn't know if they're still here. We're all here.
I'm good.
Good morning, thank you.
Okay.
Goodness, it is cold this morning. I hope everybody's staying warm.
Uh-huh. May is.
All right, ladies, we'll get started here in just a bit because I know how y'all are.
Do you see my name, Pipkins?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Go ahead and mute your Zoom, Ms. Pickens. Thank you. Let's give it about another minute or so.
Hello.
We're here.
Miss Perkins.
All right, Ms. Pickens. Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This the cousin that you're talking about?
Who is on the iPad 2?
Yes, sir.
Rose Martin.
Ladies. Okay, thank you, Ms. Martin.
No. I'm asking you. This. I have the right person in front of me.
Hey, if you're not muted, please mute your phone. Okay.
Oh, that's fine.
So it's going to be a little quiet because we're trying something new. We're going to have everybody come in and mute yourself as soon as you join the group. So this is our first practice. So as soon as you come on, we just ask that you mute your phone. If you want to say good morning, we're going to practice some of our Zoom training, and we'll use the chat to say good morning.
use the chat to say good morning?
Yes, ma'am.
That's if you have
Okay,
Zoom.
It's Shirley Jones.
Yes, ma'am, Ms.
Hi, Ms.
Jones.
Jones. Ms. Pickens, you have a question?
No,
No, Ms.
I just
Pickens.
I have a black screen. I can't see anything, but I can hear.
Okay. All right, we'll try to, we'll help you. We have to help you with that later, Ms. Jones. But if you can
Okay.
get on with us.
Ms. Pickens, you had a question?
No, I was just making sure I was on.
Yep, you're on.
Talking, so take me out.
I have a question. I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know how to get into the chat. The instructions that you sent me was on my other phone before I had to change phones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll send instructions out again on the next newsletter on how to use chat, and we'll send the same ones that we used during training. So I'll send those out to you.
In the meantime,
So
I'm sorry. In the meantime,
it's
do I go to share?
No, it's actually a
Okay.
little chat. It's next to participants. It's at the very bottom. I'll pull mine up so I can remember.
Okay, I'll wait for the instructions.
Alyssa.
All right, ladies. Yes.
Alyssa.
Yes, ma'am.
How's am I on?
Good morning.
Yes, you are.
Good morning there. How
Good
you
morning.
doing?
Good morning,
Good.
Melissa.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, ladies, we're gonna go ahead and start our in-service. Thank you for joining us this morning. And it's cold, so I hope everybody's got something nice and warm to drink, some nice coffee or tea. Stay warm.
I'm drinking hot chocolate. This Miss Laura McAfee.
Oh, okay. All right, even the hot chocolate's good.
Yes,
so we have
ma'am.
a presenter today. Miss Laura Kaiser. She is with VNA. Oops, sorry. She is the Visiting Nurses Association. She is a hospice manager for a position for 2 years ago. She started with VNA in 2016, working as a social worker for the VNA Dallas team. She earned her master's in social work at the University of Kansas, so we won't hold it against her. That's okay. Her social work career spans 4 decades. While she started at the state services, social services and public health, hospice was a perfect match for her. She loves the community-based work and the end-of-life care. Laura first learned about hospice volunteering when she volunteered in the mid-1980s at the local hospice. It's a nonprofit company. Laura's hospice career of 21 years has allowed her the chance to serve as a good social worker for both adult and pediatric patients, which I give you all the credit for working with pediatric patients on hospice. She also worked as an inpatient hospice and as family services manager. She's a bereavement coordinator as well as a volunteer manager, and she works for hospices in Lawrence, Kansas, Houston, Indianapolis before coming to Dallas to be in warmer climates. So I don't know if that line really works right now, and near to her family in Kansas. She loves the volunteerism, started with the example of First Hospice, also with VNA. She began a volunteer run program. One of the volunteers Laura worked with was the wife and former nurse of the doctor she delivered for. Wow. The special lady has made herself available to any patient, including sometimes staying all night with the patient, allowing the family caregiver a chance for a full night's sleep, which as caregivers, you'll know that is a blessing right there. And she also has ways to make hospice a unique and personal experience. coming from hospice myself, it is a rewarding experience. So thank you, Laura, for coming in and sharing what we can do to help. Stop sharing. All right.
Thank you. I'm going to try something real quick here, just because I had some technology issues this morning. So bear with me just a second. I need to turn a couple things off. I couldn't do that while Melissa was sharing her screen, but I'm going to try and do that now. Great, perfect. I think I got it. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here, and I appreciate the chance just to get to meet you and talk a little bit about volunteering and what hospice care involves. I'm pretty certain that probably many of you may have had experiences already with a family member or loved one in end-of-life care. So hopefully what I'm sharing will be consistent with what your experiences have been. Like Melissa said, I worked about 21 years, mostly as a social worker in hospice, and my master's actually was in social work, but I did an emphasis on aging. So, the senior group has always kind of been really dear to my heart as well. So I admire you all for what you're doing. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and kind of go through a PowerPoint that I created. It's pretty simple, but we're going to talk about kind of what hospice is, where it came from, what we do with VNA, what we do as how we use volunteers in hospice, which has changed a lot since the pandemic. And the information I'm sharing with you really pertains to becoming a volunteer just for VNA. It doesn't have to do with anything you're volunteering for a senior source at this time. Right. And I will say too, Melissa knows this, I lost internet this morning for about 30 minutes. So I thought I was going to just be talking with you on my phone. So hopefully it'll stay up, and we're kind of on emergency standby for our patients as well today. So hopefully I won't get distracted by any of that. Can you all hear me okay? Just a thumbs up. Everybody good? Okay, thank you. All right, I'm going to share my screen here. Hopefully get a PowerPoint up for you. Okay, so this is just about becoming a hospice volunteer. Today I want to go over just a little bit of a definition of hospice, the philosophy, the Visiting Nurse Association mission, some of the history of hospice, team, what that looks like, volunteering options, how to become a volunteer, the benefits of volunteering. I'll be able to show you a video or two about what our volunteers do. Let me move this over a minute. Guys down here, there we go. So what is hospice? It's not a place. A lot of people think of hospice still as a place where people go. There are some hospices that have what we call hospice houses or inpatient units where people may be at the end of life. But overall, it's an approach to care that helps provide comfort, self-esteem, and peace of mind to people in their last days. Hospice does not view end of life as a medical experience, but as a human life experience aided by expert medical and personal caregivers. Hospice care is focused on life, specifically the quality of a person's end of life. So at VNA, you may be familiar, VNA also does, VNA Texas also has the Meals on Wheels program in Dallas County. So hospice is just one different area of the VNA, but our overall mission is to help people age with dignity and independence at home. The VNA hospice mission statement is to provide quality of life through comprehensive interdisciplinary care that addresses one's physical, spiritual, emotional, and mental health, while also caring for the families of those facing serious or life-limiting illness and loss. So this idea was built around not just having a nurse or a doctor, but including psychosocial, social workers, chaplains, and the volunteers have always been a big part of the concept of hospice. There's kind of some of the history about hospice. In the late 19th century, hospice was a term used more commonly when talking about the places where nuns cared for the dying. It actually did stem from medieval times, but the concept of providing a specialized care for dying patients, linking pain and symptom control with compassionate care, began in England in the 1950s when a pioneering physician named Dame Cicely Saunders created the first modern hospice there. St. Christopher's Hospice was the first hospice in modern times, created again by Dame Cicely Saunders, who lived in London, but began her work with terminally ill patients in the late 1940s. According to most reports, Dame Saunders introduced the United States to the idea of specialized care for the dying during a visit to Yale University in 1963. I'm going to brag a minute and say, we have a volunteer for our VNA hospice team. She's in our Collin County office, and she actually met Dame Cicely Saunders at St. Christopher's House in England. So I think she might be really old. She's really not, but she met her right before she died. This particular volunteer did her graduate work in studying hospice. And so she was a part of kind of that early movement and had the opportunity to actually meet her in person. So that's kind of exciting for us in hospice anyway. Hospice care concepts began to be recognized in earnest by hospital professionals when President Ronald Reagan and the US Senator Bob Dole encouraged Congress to include the payment for hospice services as part of the Medicare benefit for Americans. That 1982 passage was only temporary, but in 1986, the Medicare hospice benefit was made permanent by Congress, and states were given the option of including hospice in their Medicaid programs, something all states adopted. So that just kind of tells you a little bit about the history of hospice, how we came to have it here in the United States. The first US hospices were mainly comprised of volunteer workers with limited, if any, community support. These people worked to recognize a better way to care for people who were dying and helped to enable hospice's early development. They also served people with varied diagnoses that had limited options for care, thus paving the way for acceptance of those without the ability to pay for care. So that is something that I really pride our hospice on, is that we do provide services to people that don't have the ability to pay. And it is also another reason why one of the, in the Medicare hospice benefit, there is a requirement for 5% of all clinical hours to be given by volunteers, because really a lot of hospices did start as volunteer organizations. In my bio that Melissa read, when I first started working as a social worker in Kansas, we had our startup hospice. I was not working for them, but I did become a volunteer before it was actually something that Medicare paid for. So I have some long time history with that as well. So with VNA Texas, just a little bit of our history, we began during the Great Depression with support for women, children, and families in need. In 1935, VNA was endorsed by the Dallas County Medical Society. Many societal and charitable organizations contributed to helping provide furnishings and supplies that help the nurses care for their patients. In 1936, an agreement was made with Parkland and Baylor hospitals for VNA to care for mothers and their infants in their homes. In 1938, 1/3 of all babies born in Dallas were under the care of VNA nurses. VNA established its first geriatric clinic at Cedar Springs Housing Project in 1971. And by 1974, VNA had 17 geriatric clinics throughout North Texas. In 1978, VNA utilized more than 4 decades of experience caring for terminally ill to develop Texas's first hospice program, which is something I'm very proud to be a part of. And just knowing that our history is that deep. As I said, we mainly started with home health care during, doing pediatric, and as it says, then geriatric assistance. If you ever come into our Dallas office, you'll see our walls are lined with our history. We have pictures of our nurses at different stages throughout our history. It's a really unique experience. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about our care team, because again, the concept of hospice includes a team of people that are working with somebody who has been diagnosed with less than 6 months of life to live. So it does start with our physicians. So we have an attending physician the person can choose when they elect to have the hospice services. It's usually the doctor on the hospice team, but it can be their own physician if that person agrees to continue with their care. And they oversee the patient's care. They're kind of the key element that kind of oversees all of it and determines if that patient is going to be qualified for the hospice or not. We have registered nurses, and we also hire LVNs, and they, again, are case managers that oversee the care under the direction of the physician. They assess the physical needs of the patient and family, develop a plan of care, and facilitate interventions to address their needs. We all meet as a team every 2 weeks for each patient. We discuss. I was just on a meeting before I came into this with one of our doctors in our Collin County office. So we do get together. Right now we're doing it by Zoom, but that is a big part of what we do too, is to talk as a team about, what this patient needs. We have aides, and our aides are like certified nurse aides. If you were in a hospital setting, you may have, the benefit of a CNA that comes to help you get a bath or just get cleaned up. So they kind of deal with the hygiene and physical needs to help bathe and dress and feed patients. One thing that people often think is that our aides are there with them throughout the day, but we don't have, we're coming into the patient's home where they're at. Sometimes that's a nursing home, sometimes it's assisted living, a residential care home, or a private home. And we're not there 24/7. That is unless they have a really symptom that we can't control with our intermittent routine care, then we could put a nurse at the bedside. But most of the time, we're training whoever is in that person's environment, our primary caregiver, also to help take care of their needs. The social worker assesses emotional and social and spiritual and financial needs. They can assist with end-of-life documents like an out-of-hospital do not resuscitate, or medical power of attorney, help facilitate funeral planning, or connect patients and families to community agencies. Sometimes they also provide our bereavement counseling and support to families after a patient has died. And we have chaplains as well. Those chaplains assess spiritual needs of the patient and family, provide direct spiritual counseling, connect them with their own faith or spiritual organizations if different than the chaplain, and assist with memorial preparations and funeral support. So some of our patients may not be connected with particular faith. The chaplain would be just like a chaplain that you might have in a hospital that's multi-disciplinary, multi-faith. They are there really to address the spiritual needs, not so much connecting with a particular faith belief, but they can help people connect. Like if they want a priest to come, then our chaplains would work on, getting the help with that. And volunteers provide companionship, life review, run errands, help with lighthouse hold duties, caregiver relief, and I'm going to tell you a lot more later on that. So we kind of break our volunteer options into direct patient care, our bereavement activities, and administrative volunteering. The direct patient care has been, we've had to alter the things that we've been doing for direct patient care during COVID. For about a good year, we weren't even going in to see our patients, and sometimes they weren't even allowing all of our staff in just because of COVID. So we created some other ways that we can help them be safe, but we are working towards getting our volunteers back out, what we call in the field, where they can actually go in and see our patients. So in that arena, some of the direct patient care activities are providing friendly visits, offering caregiver relief. And those are probably the two of the most requested needs right now. The friendly visits may be someone in a facility that just is lonely or living at home alone. Our caregiver relief is if someone is there taking care of a patient and they need to get a break for a couple hours at a time, then we would try to link them up with someone, you know, that could do that for them. Sometimes people need assistance with errands. I know recently before the last ice storm, we had a man and kind of we cover 16 counties. So we had a man in our northern region in Grayson County that was living like in a small trailer and needed some propane filled before so that he could get through the predicted cold spell. And we were able to, you know, send someone out and help him get that. Sometimes we're reading a book or playing an instrument or music. A lot of our patients, if you have the ability to sing or you know, play an instrument, they appreciate that. Recording life events, and that's something that we've been doing. We have a program called Keepsake Memory Books, where we have been calling patients during COVID. We couldn't go and do the face-to-face visit, so we would call and we use a guide to their life, things that they might like for their family to know that the family may not know, and then have a volunteer that's very good with computers that can put graphics in and pictures, and we make just a book for them to have for their families about their life. And sometimes it's really just about being there, you know, for companionship. Bereavement is a part of hospice that pertains to that. Basically, we start when a patient first comes on our service to identify who are the people in that patient's family or family of friends that are going to be affected by the loss, that will need some support with the grief when this patient passes away. So we have specialized, some are licensed professional counselors, sometimes they're social workers or chaplains that serve as our bereavement coordinators in each of our offices. And as you might imagine, we have had a lot of deaths. Many are COVID related, but it just seems like we're having a lot more people come on and die quicker in this last year or so. And our bereavement department is usually a department of, you know, one individual per office and can use a lot of our assistance. So we have some of our volunteers trained to make phone calls. So they get specialized training and what to say and how to address the grief or loss of those individuals. Volunteers that help with our bereavement luncheons, which we don't have going right now because of COVID, but we do have groups like grief support groups that are being done on Zoom, and hopefully we'll resume that in person before too long. And volunteers can help with mailings. So we do have literature that goes out to those individuals, giving them information about local support groups and other ways that they can seek help in their grief. Also just about what's normal in grieving and dealing with loss. So we do a lot of mailings to our people on bereavement, and our volunteers do go into our offices and help with those. We also use volunteers to help enter data into our computer system so that when a patient first starts on hospice, they fill out a sheet about family information that tells us, you know, who do they think are the people in their family that may want that grief support. And so our volunteers often can enter that information into our computer system. Another way that we use volunteers is with administrative activities. That can be sharing computer knowledge and expertise. So for example, in the beginning of the pandemic, when many facilities were not allowing us in because of the spread of COVID, or if people were hesitant to have our staff making visits, sometimes the social workers could do telehealth. Our nurses would still go. Our nurses have to see the patients at a certain frequency, but we were all learning how to use the telehealth. And so one way, I had some college age volunteers that we already had signed on and were helping us out in other ways. And they helped a lot of our staff learn how to use the various applications that we were using for telehealth, like WhatsApp or FaceTime or Zoom. So that was kind of a unique way that we were using volunteers just in that time period. We do have volunteers that come in and help us with clerical duties in the office, answering phones. Sometimes they may help with community outreach. And we also have volunteers that help us with admission folders that we give out to our patients when they first come on hospice. And we also have what we call welcome bags that have different supplies that they're going to need, maybe disposable wipes or briefs or underpads, gloves, things of that nature, and all that is put into a welcome bag so that when the nurse first goes out to meet that patient, they can get them started. They're things that we're going to order for them or help them access in the future, but we just kind of give them the starter kit. So volunteers help in all those ways in our offices, and some of it is from home. And during these sewing projects that we do use community volunteers for are not hours that we can officially count under the Medicare guidelines, but they are things that just kind of enhance the experience of our patients and families. So we do have some volunteers that make lap blankets, small pillows that patients can use, to put under their elbows or knees or when they're in a hospital bed. What we call fidget blankets, and those are for some of our patients with dementias or cognitive impairment. It's something that they can touch and feel and, help keep their hands busy, but also have something to do. We also have some huggable keepsakes that we can make out of our patients' clothing after someone dies. We have a sewer that makes heart-shaped pillows and what we call memory bears that can be made out of an article of a person's clothing. And people often will really appreciate that. Another way that we use sewing projects during the pandemic is we created a program called Heart Hugs. And our Heart Hugs program is an extension of the bereavement department. After someone dies, our chaplains will usually call the family and check in with them. And they will offer a heart hug pillow. And so we had volunteers that were making heart-shaped pillows, and then we packaged them with a card from us that basically said, since we can't be there in person to give you a hug, we sent our heart instead. And not everyone gets those pillows, but just the people that our team identifies, that they might appreciate that as just an expression of our condolence and thinking of them. So let's talk about the steps to becoming a volunteer. It's actually, our volunteers in hospice go through a credentialing process that's almost the same as being an employee. So it's very different than if you were just to go to maybe our Meals on Wheels program, or if you were volunteering like at a food bank or a homeless shelter or a blood drive. Our volunteers really go through quite a rigorous credentialing process, and that is just the requirements of Medicare. They are like what we might say, unpaid employees. So we do have an interest form online. I do a face-to-face interview right now by Zoom with any potential applicant before we would forward their application, an application link on to them. We run a complete background check, which is a requirement. We do require now that everyone is fully COVID vaccinated, and we have them sign a waiver related to COVID. And these are things that obviously we started post-pandemic, and now we are federally mandated as a healthcare provider that all of our volunteers would have to have the COVID vaccination. We started in COVID with a remote administrative type of volunteer for some of our people that did not have the Texas driver's license. But we have very limited ways that we can use those volunteers right now. Mostly they've been making phone calls for us and writing some cards and things of that nature. But we're really working towards getting our volunteers back out in the field as much as possible. You do have to have a Texas driver's license, proof of auto insurance, and complete some VNA hospice training courses, their online version. And it does take probably 8 to 12 hours for people to complete that online training. Even though our volunteers don't do any hands-on care, there's a lot of rules and regulations that they really need to know about in terms of privacy and just how our patients are treated. And so that's a big part of the process of becoming a volunteer. So I'm not quite done. I'm going to try to pop off here. I'm going to go to something real quick here. Sorry. So this was just a quote by one of our nurse case managers that at one time was in our Denton office. She said, "It's not about the end, it's about the living the life in between." And I'm not going to read this. I am VNA, but basically with our hospice, we serve a 16 county area. We have offices in Dallas, Collin, Denton, and Kaufman. So today we're kind of on high alert for 16 counties to see if anybody's losing power. A lot of our patients are oxygen dependent, and there's other needs that the electricity is really important. So basically I'm going to try and show you a couple of, this is, you can't really read this because it's not big enough on my screen. But I'm just going to show you something, an example of one way that our volunteers are helping out every week. During the pandemic, we started doing what we call tuck-in calls. And these calls we do to just the patients that are at home. So they might be in a family member's home, but people that were not in nursing facilities or assisted livings where they could easily call us and say, "Hey, well, we need medication for this." And so what our tuck-in callers do is we call on Wednesday afternoon or Thursday in preparation for the weekend. And we just make sure that they have all the supplies and medications that they need during, so that we won't necessarily have to utilize our on-call nurses that are busy, admitting people, death calls and things of emergency nature on the weekends. So just kind of troubleshooting. And those callers also often get to meet the patients, get to know them. They don't meet them, they call them, but they often develop, a relationship over the phone. So this was on our social media, our Facebook site several months ago. Well, actually, I think it was in April 28th. It says, this is one of our volunteers, tuck-in callers. We utilize about 19 or 20 different volunteers to call about 150 patients a week. So this was during National Volunteer Month, and the article reads, "Today we're spotlighting hospice volunteer Frank Meyer." And it's got his quote says, "It's Frank, your friendly visiting nurse association volunteer calling. On Thursdays around noon, you'll find retired salesman Frank Meyer sitting at his kitchen table with the phone in hand and VNA paperwork in front of him. Frank spends about an hour making tuck-in calls to families of VNA hospice patients. These calls not only allow a check-in on family members, they serve as medicine and supply check-ins as the weekend nears. This program began during the pandemic to help cut back on in-person and to decrease exposure, delivery visits, and to keep hospice volunteers engaged. It's not always easy. Frank establishes a rapport with each person on his list. He is extremely aware of the sensitivity of the situation and that it's different for everyone." Frank's quote, "I have a guy named Steve that I call every week. He answers every single time. I'm sure he must be a newscaster or something. He has the voice for it," says Frank. He's had requests to move next door to one family, and one woman refused to answer his calls for weeks, so he left messages after message. Finally, she answered his call. Her first words, "Frank, it's good to hear your voice. We are grateful to you, Frank, your genuine heart, and to all of our selfless hospice volunteers." So that's just one way that we have utilized volunteers during the pandemic. And you can see Frank's sweet picture here. He's had some interesting experiences. One lady asked him to come and plant flowers in her yard. I am going to stop my share here real quick, and I'm going to try to show you a video. Just a minute. How's everybody doing? I know you're on your Zoom etiquette. I'm quite with that. I might have to have some of you guys train our staff on Zoom etiquette. Okay, give me a minute. Let me get to this. Okay. Oops. Not what I expected. Give me just a second, guys. Sorry about that. Stop the share and I'll try and I guess I could. Does anybody have any?
Did you want?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, does anybody have any questions? That's what I was gonna. I know y'all are all quiet. This is great. But now y'all can ask the questions all you want.
I have a question.
Yes, Ms. Watson.
I did my mom and dad back in the country, on that. And I wanted to get touch some more highlights since we're on that hospice deal by DNR. I did my mom and dad on DNR. Could she share some more information on that for me, please?
Yes. Okay. So, Ms. Watson, your question has to do with the DNR. And
yes.
What that stands for is out of hospital, do not resuscitate order.
Yes.
When it's not a requirement when someone is on hospice that they have that document, but it's important for us to know if they do or they don't. Most of the hospice patients will eventually institute an out of hospital DNR. If they don't, oftentimes they may end up with resuscitation attempts that are, unsuccessful. They may try to go back to the hospital. And the whole point of hospice really is to try and help people stay at home and not have to make those unnecessary emergency room visits, not seek that kind of aggressive treatment, because hospice is about just maintaining comfort at the end of life. So, I'm not sure if your question is how would you go about having one done?
I did several with my mom and dad. Okay. And then I just recently did about a year ago with my brother. He was on, I got him on hospice. He was a vet. And I'm glad I did. To this day, I still going through with some of his personal business with his kids. So we just finally made some progress with his money that he left the kids, and it working out the way to my favor that I asked God for his 6 kids, and they all thought they were gonna get different, but all of them getting the same amount. So I'm glad that I was able to do these things for him and his wife and the kids. So I think everybody kind of needs to know this, because I kind of got asked, how did I know how to go by do all of this? And I kind of, I told them. So I'm grateful. This is some value information. It saved you a lot of time and headaches, especially for me.
Good. It's glad to hear. I'm glad to hear that things worked out well with your family. I'm going to go ahead and just show you guys a quick video. During COVID, again, we had to kind of change the things that we could do. Sometimes it was because families, yeah.
I was just going to say, ladies, don't forget to mute your phones.
Sometimes families, as you might imagine, were hesitant to have extra people in their home because of the spread of COVID. And so, we follow very strict protocols in terms of CDC guidelines and wearing masks and face shields and, limiting exposure. We keep track of anybody that, has COVID. And right now our volunteers don't see any patients that have tested positive. or currently positive. But at any rate, we decided we used to do what we call birthday brigade, where a patient could be nominated by their team as, oh, their birthday's coming up. Can we give them some little balloon or just a little treat for their birthday? And so we used to be able to go in, of course, and take those in. And we're going to start doing that again. But we were doing just like door deliveries. We call ahead of time and make sure that the person was agreeable to having a volunteer just come and do this. So I'm going to show you just a brief video that we did. And hopefully I am. Try it again here real quick. Okay. Move this out of the way. Move my screen. I'm sorry. I'm having some trouble with I know you can see me right in the middle of that, and I'm trying to fix that. But let me see if I can scroll down here and get us off of there. Got any ideas, Melissa? You're muted, but hold on, let me try this again. Sorry, ladies. I do actually do presentations on Zoom a lot, but it's not always the easiest. You're a big group, so I'm having some.
I have the video up if you want me to play it.
Oh, do you? Is it the birth? I just want to say just the birthday.
Volunteer with VNA.
It should show. There should be two. It's the one that has the birthday. The lady.
I only had the one with the nurse and the patient.
Hold on a second. Bear with me 1 minute. I'll see if I can. I'll show you the one I'm going to try to show. I know you're seeing here. This is it, but I don't know if I'm just trying to move this. There we go. Okay, I got it. So this one of our volunteers, bless her heart, she just had a baby. You can't tell there she's pregnant. Lauren, and she helped us. She's actually a registered nurse, and she'll tell a little bit about her story. But this was her making one of our birthday deliveries. Get this.
Yeah, you're not playing sound.
Oh, you're not? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Why she became a VNA hospice volunteer and what brings her the most joy as a volunteer.
Ladies, don't forget to mute your phones. *6 if you're on the phone. Ms. Cornell, can you mute your phone, please?
Okay. Thanks. I'm sorry about the beginning of that. I always forget about the volume with those videos. So that's just a quick video with Lauren, one of our volunteers, doing the birthday delivery. And I wanted just to mention too, a couple of things that I didn't have in my PowerPoint, and that is that this year, or in 2021, VNA started doing pediatric hospice as well. So it's something that in years past, through the home health part of VNA at the time, before we had hospice, I know we worked with, infants and children, but we saw that there was a big need for that in our area. And so we're not seeing a lot of pediatric patients right now. It's because we are trying to just get our staff acclimated and everybody trained, and we have a pediatric nurse now, and we'll be hiring what we call a child life specialist. And of course, that's a whole different area of hospice than what we have normally been doing. But again, it's an area that has a very great need. Our pediatric patients can be anywhere from birth to age 21. And one thing that's a little bit different with pediatric versus our adult population is that our pediatric patients can be seeking aggressive treatment at the same time as they're having hospice. So it's more like what we would call a palliative type program, if that makes sense. Normally in hospice with adults, you can't be getting any kind of aggressive treatment, like say you have cancer, so you wouldn't be getting chemotherapy or radiation at the same time you're in hospice. Normally all those treatments, have ended by the time you come on hospice. But with our pediatric patients, the state has what they call concurrent care, meaning that they can be on hospice at the same time as they're getting home health care or going to the hospital for treatments. And so it really allows for those families to, the kids can be getting more aggressive care. And if things get better, then they won't need hospice. But if they don't, they have us, and we have a relationship with them already. So it's something that is going to be very much a growing dimension, I think, of the VNA hospice going forward. Like I said, we're the only ones that are really holding back, and which is so that we can make sure we're doing a really good job, make sure, we're being real thorough with our pediatric patients as well. And then another thing we did start a couple of years ago is we're part of a program, a national hospice and palliative program called We Honor Veterans. So we do try to recognize who are our veteran patients. And during the pandemic, it's been difficult because we haven't been able to go to their homes and do our little pinning or give them a certificate ourselves. But we will be, we have delivered a lot of certificates to our patients, and just try to make sure that they know that our staff are more veteran aware and veteran centric as far as what those veterans' needs might be. So, well, that's about all I had. I know you all have another hour or so meeting. Does anyone have any other questions? I'm getting ready to go to our pediatric team meeting at 11.
I know we had some people that are interested in volunteering with the hospice patients, and we can figure out how we're going to do that. But is there anything you would suggest that some of our volunteers take into account while they volunteer with hospice patients?
I meant to put I think you've got the slide, Melissa, and it has my contact information, so they could just email to me individually. I just didn't go down to that slide, but yeah.
Right, okay.
And you and I can talk at a different time. I'm sorry, this week has just been very busy.
Oh, no, I understand with the weather and everything. Yeah, does anybody have any questions? No questions.
I want to thank you all for letting me be on your meeting today. And I hope that you'll stay safe and warm and with power in these next few days.
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll definitely get in touch with you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ladies, stay on. We still have some time. All right, ladies, did y'all have any questions or concerns or anything like that? No?
No, it was very good. Very helpful.
I can't believe you guys don't have any questions.
Hello, this is Mrs. Terrifier, and I have a question, a statement, really. I was telling you, I want to join it, and I didn't hear talk any about the sewing. I didn't know whether you would do that at home or they have a special place for.
Oh, the sewing, you can do that at home. Yeah, you can do that at home.
Oh, we would have to look and see.
Yeah, we would have to see if, that would qualify. It probably won't really affect us. Really what we're looking for, and this will count towards hours. It's the same thing as if you had a companion that we give you. It's the same aspect and everything. You're just going to go through a little bit more training because they are Medicare regulated. So you will get, and you'll get your hours and everything for that as well. But you would just basically have a hospice patient that's, patient that's coming towards the end of life. And so you'll do the same thing as you would as a companion, be there for them. If you need to run errands for them, that's completely up to you, but you do get your mileage. Most of them don't have doctor's appointments because they're coming to the end of life. But again, it's the same thing as you have a regular companion that Constance would call you, or I would call you and say, hey, we have somebody for you. It's the exact same thing. The only thing is that they're just coming to the end of life.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes, Ms.
So
Purefoy.
they mostly don't be in the hospital, huh? But
No, they're going to be all at home. All of them are going to be at home because that's the point of hospice, is that you're comfortable, they're managing your pain. And so they're at home. So you would go to their home just like you would as a companion and everything else. You don't have to do any nursing aspect of anything. You're just there to be a companion like you would anybody else.
Ms. Purefoy, if you were assigned a person, you could possibly make something for them, sew something for them. That could be a part of it.
Yeah, you can sew something for them.
Yeah, but you can't do that separately.
Miss Melissa?
I was thank you.
Yeah, you can do it with them. Yeah, and a great if you like sewing, and you got a client, make a memory bear. A memory bear is basically they give you an old, say an old sweater or an old T-shirt that reminds everybody of them. You just make a teddy bear out of an old article of theirs. So it's a memory bear. So it's something that they've owned or something, and you just make it into a bear. So you can make it while you're with them or for them. Ms. Jones, you had a question?
I don't have a question, but I just wanted to say, Senior Source Companion, we had a program where we had hospice care. We had a lot of senior companions that did that program.
Yeah, Miss Perry, Miss Renee told us that they did have a program.
Right.
Like that. So we're just trying to get that back in so that
right.
we give you more options. We give you more options because right now we're limited of how many people are wanting. How many companions we have. We don't have a lot of clients right now. So we're trying to give you another option to earn hours and to provide that companionship. So.
And we had
one just another venue.
She did a lot of sewing. Mm-hmm.
So just,
okay, that's all.
We're just trying to get, thank you. But yeah, we're just trying to give you another option because remember, temporary allowance ends in March. So whatever hours you have is the hours you will get paid. So that's why we're trying to give you as much as we can to subsidize all of that. So if you're wanting a companion, this is one way to definitely get one because right now we just don't have it as any of our clients. We don't have a lot. So that's why it's been so hard to place you with somebody. So this is just another avenue to go. So if you're interested in being a hospice volunteer, contact Constance or I so that we can put you on a list so that we can start getting that process going. I know we have some people that already have said, they mentioned that they are interested, but just again, call us, make sure that we have you on that list of people that want to volunteer. You can call us after 1, we'll have lunch. And so definitely give us a call. Just leave us a message. We won't probably call you back or anything. We'll just leave us a message saying, I want to be a hospice volunteer. Okay. And if y'all need more questions answered, we could always contact Laura and have her come back and answer some of those questions or something, or we can put you in direct contact with her. All right, ladies, so we're going to go ahead and go on. So it's breakout groups. You know how we always do our breakout groups. So let me get you into our breakout groups. So how many people do we have?
Hello, am I in a group?
Yes.
This
So
is Lillian. Oh.
Yes, Miss Henry. Yes, we hear you. So did you have a question?
Oh no, I thought you said we're in a breakout group. I thought you were doing
Oh,
that.
no, we will in a minute. So the first question is, if you could have dinner with any person, dead or alive, who would it be? And if you had a TV show, and if you had a TV show, what would the name of that name be, and who would play you? So if you had dinner with anybody, dead or alive, and if you had a TV show, what would the name of the TV show be, and who would play you? So I am going to break y'all up into groups, and then y'all will have about 5 minutes, and then y'all will come back. So, and don't forget to respond. Don't just go into a group and not talk to anybody. *6 to take yourself off of mute, and please, have a conversation. Just don't go in the group and not talk.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, ladies, see you on this side.
Recording in
That was fun.
That was really fun.
What are some of the what are some of the answers? What are some of the answers?
One. God bless everybody.
In our group, we got a lot of moms. They wish that they could have dinner with the moms again.
Oh, that's yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. All right, ladies.
One of my the TV show that I suggested, and I would have my granddaughter, she's a lawyer. I would name the show Grandma's in Power.
Grandma's in Power. That's a good one.
And my dinner person was my name was Martin Luther King Jr. Senior. Martin Luther King Senior. I would have loved to dine with him. Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, ladies, let's go ahead and mute your phones. So most of you read this in the newsletter. Timesheets need to be received in the office by the 7th. Gives you a week after the last day of the month. If not, it will be held until the next month for processing, because I need to I'm running behind because I'm still getting them on the 10th, 11th, 12th. So if it's not by the 7th, then and it says in our handbook that it will be held until the next processing of the month. So make sure you get it into me by the 7th. You can fax it, you can mail it, you can email it. Those are the 3 ways. It's all in the newsletter, on the back of the newsletter, the numbers for the fax and the email address.
All right.
Okay, does everybody understand?
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Sure. Okay.
I
good.
do. I never had a problem.
Yeah, there's some of you that don't, but there's some that do. I'm not saying everybody is or everybody's not. It's just it's throwing me behind, and I want to make sure I'm paying everybody on a timely basis. So I just want to make sure that we get that paperwork in. But by the 7th, if I don't have it in the office for me to be able to process by the 7th, it will be held. So
and the best way to do that, guys, is the last day of the month, put it in the mail or fax it or scan it or whatever.
Yeah.
The last day of the month, you mail it.
And we always provide an envelope for you. So all you have to do is just put it in the envelope and take it to the post office. That's all you have to do. Where you already got your envelope and everything.
Okay.
So ongoing requirements. All this was in your newsletter, but we're just going to go over it again. Making sure that you, if you have a client, I'll let Constance actually talk about this one. Go ahead, Constance.
Okay. On the ongoing requirements, or as senior companions, you're to work with your assigned clients. Senior companions must serve the clients listed on the care plan and letter of agreement form. Excuse me, and are not allowed to regularly serve clients for whom they do not have a care plan and letter of agreement. So that's just saying, if we have not assigned that person to you, if we haven't done the paperwork, you haven't spoken with us, and we've given you the okay to have that client, then you cannot serve that client. The only time this has been an issue is because of the pandemic when we were doing the telephone calling. Prior to that, you guys knew you didn't get a client without us meeting and going meet that client, sitting down, talking, and signing the care plan at that time. But with the telephone reassurance, that's why we come into a problem of having clients where we don't have paperwork and we haven't assigned that person to you. So if you have any questions about that, just give me a call and will make sure that everything is as it should be. I also wanted to talk about this senior companions who are experiencing health problems that will not allow them to serve. This must be reported to the senior companion program. That's in the handbook. So if you are having problems that will cause you to not to be able to serve, I know since we're making calls, some of you are making calls, some are back in the home. But for the ones that are making the calls, even that still applies because we are trying to transition back to in-person and other types of services. So if you are having a medical problem that causes you not to be able to serve, like you can't walk up steps or you're just having some health problems that make you maybe not be able to be mobile or not to be able to drive, or if the doctor has put you on a medication that you have to take on a regular basis, we need to know that because there are things in the handbook that address this, and we need to know, and we need to have a talk, we need to discuss it. It may require that we need a note from your doctor, or it may not, but just make sure that you report it.
All right.
Any questions? Okay, we're returning to in-person visits. The first thing you need to do is contact the senior companion programs if you would like to return to in-person visits with your clients. If you had a client prior to the pandemic, or if you would like to be placed with a client, just contact us and let us know you're ready to start back. The next thing we would have to do is schedule an in-home visit with the senior companion staff, the client, and the volunteer before returning. We have to sign a COVID-19 waiver. And currently, based on the board's decision, currently, only vaccinated volunteers and clients can serve in person. So the volunteer has to be vaccinated, the client has to be vaccinated. That's as it is right now. That could change in the future. Senior center volunteers, would you please check with your clients to see if they will be returning to the center? The centers are supposed to be open back up. So if you call, so just ask them, are you going to be returning to the center? If they say yes, and you want to return to the center with them to see them at the center like you were doing in the past, for all three of us to meet at the center to sign the waivers. Okay. Check with the senior companion program to make sure we have your correct transportation type. If your transportation type has changed, you guys are aware that time sheet.
You were breaking up there, Constance. What was that again?
If you have a change in transportation type, like if we had you down, when you first went on program, if we had you down just having a car and that changed, and you no longer have a car, then you need to let us know.
Okay, can I let you know, Constance, can I talk to you after the meeting?
Yeah, all of this is after. I don't want you to let me know right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Contact me. Yeah. Yeah, just contact myself or Melissa this week, next week, if any of this applies to changes. If there's been a change in your transportation type, because we put that information in Salesforce, and that is used for calculating timesheet data. So if that's changed, we need to know. Let's see. If for those who are back in the homes, if you have a schedule change that's permanent, you need to report that. if we have you down as serving a client like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, from 10 to 4 or whatever, and you change that, you and the client decided you needed to change that, that's okay. But we just need to be notified of that. If it's a temporary change, that you don't have to report that. If it's just a temporary change, that's just changed it for a week. But if it's
constant.
I'm
sorry, I got a black screen and I just been touching stuff trying to get in to let you know my circumstances changed as far as transportation. And my question is,
hold on, Ms. Jones. If it's personal information, you don't have to discuss it in front of everyone. We can talk about this.
That's fine. My question was, will you be phasing out the phone calls to clients, or will that continue?
So that will continue.
Okay.
Yeah, that will continue.
Okay.
But like Melissa
and I need
saying, but like what Miss Melissa was saying, after April, then you will be paid just based on what's on your time sheet. Right now, you guys have been getting the emergency pay, the temporary pay allowance. So that's going to stop.
On March.
So if you're just making phone calls, you're going to see a drastic change. Okay.
All right. Okay.
All right.
And
so,
I couldn't get in when the VNA lady was there, but I would like to donate some material for the people that are making lap pads and Care Bears and stuff. And
okay,
I would also,
Ms. Jones, we can talk about that. We can talk about that later, okay? Because I want to get off topic. Anything that you guys do related to the VNA, just contact us after in service.
I have a question, please.
Yes, Ms. Jackson.
Okay, Ms. Jackson.
Okay, you say the emergency pay is going to stop in March?
It goes through March 31st.
It goes through March 31st.
Yes.
Okay, that was my question. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I probably said April because you guys will get that pay for March.
Yeah, so your April check is really your March check, so that would be the last of it. That April 15th is actually your March pay. So that would be your last temporary allowance.
right.
Okay, any returning volunteers going back into the homes, if you need personal protection equipment like masks, hand sanitizer, gloves, or just let us know. We have some supplies at the office and we'll try to see if we have what you need. Just let us know if you need anything. We'll get it for you. Okay, any questions about all that, guys? No questions, so we're gonna get.
I have another question.
And I
Yes,
do
Ms.
too.
Jones. Okay,
Okay.
yes, Dorothy Jones. Hold on, Dorothy
okay.
Jones. Yeah, go ahead, Ms. Dorothy.
Okay, Miss Melissa, I just want to verify this. In our handbook, it says if the Dallas Independent School District is closed during the weather, we are closed as well. So I wanted to know, today they were closed and I wanted to take my vacation day.
Right, you could take a vacation day. We don't pay you because of that. You could take a vacation day because
right, that's
of the
what
weather.
I know. I know that's
We're
what
closed.
we have been doing.
Right.
So I'm taking a vacation. I went to see my client yesterday.
Yeah.
But so thank you very much.
Yes, just put that information.
Yeah, just
right. I know what to do. I just want to make sure. Thank you.
Yep, that's
Okay.
correct. Miss Shirley Jones, you had a question?
I did, and I forgot it.
Oh, okay, we'll come back. Miss Verda?
Well, I have one. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Miss Verda.
Okay, Melissa, I've sent you a question. Did you get it?
It didn't come through. Oh yeah. So we are going to be passing out handbooks in April. So we will be getting those. We are working on getting all of that together. So y'all used to get a binder. So you will be getting a new binder that has a new handbook, the calendar, your timesheets, everything will be inside of it. So you will be able to receive that. Okay. I want to say maybe April will be the first time we'll be back together, hopefully. So we're looking at and doing that. So we'll have all that stuff for you for the new, because remember our year goes from April to March. So we'll have everything ready for you for the new fiscal year.
I have a question.
Okay, my thought came back.
Okay.
In the newsletter, it mentioned another session that would start at noon. Did I read that right? Will that be right after this? Okay.
Yes. So that's right. That's why we're trying to hurry. That's why we're trying to go through this real quick so that y'all can get on the next session. For those that are wanting to get on it.
Oh, we know it's okay. I have a question, and this is for clarification. I thought we didn't have any vacation. I don't quite understand.
Miss Jones has a client, so she has vacation. So those that have clients do have vacation. Those that don't have and that are receiving emergency peak do not have vacation. You may have 1 or 2 hours that have accumulated by now, but because she has a client, she has her vacation time.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
Because she's back in
I have a question.
Yes. Yes.
Pipkins. Since my 2 clients are all both by phone, do I have any vacation?
No, because you're not in a client, you're not in a home, you're still making phone calls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Miss Melissa.
A client means that literally you go to a client. So
I understand that, but times are different. Times are different now, so have to be careful about where you go.
Right. So if you have a client, then that will determine if you have. And then also too, ladies, Constance and I were going to be making sure when we call you and ask you if you want a client, think about that, because again, temporary allowance ends. So if you are only making phone calls and you make 10 hours of phone calls, you're only going to get paid 10 hours. You're not going to get paid anymore that you're not doing anymore. So just want to let you know.
I want to know this. If you went over 10 hours, that wouldn't be counted as time?
Yeah, 10 hours and that's it once temporary allowance ends. You won't be getting the 60 hours you might be getting now or 40 hours you're getting now. You won't be getting any of that. We're just trying to be honest with y'all ladies.
Okay, so if you have
be shocked.
So if you have no client that you're going to, regardless to you making phone calls and sending them cards or whatever, that doesn't count for anything?
That does count towards your hours, yes. But I'm saying, say if you only did phone calls and you did cards and so it only equaled up to 20 hours. You're only going to get paid for 20 hours once temporary allowance ends.
Okay, and then after temporary allowance, what happens then?
That's what she's saying. She's saying that
Miss Melissa.
No.
Miss Melissa.
Yes, just a moment. Ladies, I'm trying to get y'all off. I know y'all have a lot of questions, and so Constance and I can take those calls separately. I just want to make sure that I get y'all off by 12 so that y'all can go to your next session if those are wanting to sign up for that next session.
I have a question regarding the next session.
Yes.
How do we record it? Do we add the time with this time?
Don't worry about it, because I will get a roster of all those who attended.
Okay.
And I'll get an hour. I'll get
I have
a roster.
Okay.
Miss
Thank you, ma'am.
Melissa.
Yes.
Miss Melissa.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, Ms. Hicks.
If you do have a time sheet and you're going to see a patient, then do you keep your time sheet past the 7th?
No,
Do you
Miss
keep your time?
Miss
You
Hicks,
have to keep it
the time sheet you're going to be sending in is going to
past
be.
You need
the
to,
7th
yeah,
of the
you
month.
need to mail your time. You need to send in your timesheet. If you don't send in your timesheet, I can't pay you.
I'm saying, if you it's the February time sheet that's due
Well,
in
wait,
by the
wait.
7th.
Let us answer her. Let us answer her, Miss Tiggs. We're going to be
Go
asking
ahead.
for.
If you
Guys,
do have a companion and you have to keep you do have to keep your time sheet past the 7th.
Okay. Well, listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like if you say this is February, you're gonna keep the timesheet all the way to the end of the month. The 7th that Melissa's talking about is the 7th of the next month. So you're gonna keep it for the end of the month, and you're gonna send it in by the 7th of the next month, or sooner than the 7th of the next month.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
I have a question, please. Can you answer this question for me? I have tried several times to fill out that application for the sexuality class. And every time when I get to my email, it knocks the whole thing out. I've tried it 3 times.
Okay, we'll try to do it after. If we get out of here in enough time, we'll try to get you registered. But that's what we're trying to do.
I've tried it 3 times this morning and 2 times yesterday. I do good until I get to the email, and it just knocks the whole thing away.
Okay, we'll try to get you registered if we get out. It's in time for you to register.
Okay, and then I got a chance to listen to the caregiver. That was very, very good. And the weatherization, all of that.
We did not record. We didn't record it. So you're either in the class or not in the class. We didn't.
Well, I was in it for a little while. I didn't get the whole thing, but that I heard, it was good.
Okay.
My name, you should have seen my name pop up.
But she was just saying she enjoyed it.
Yeah, I would have had a roster for it. All right, ladies. So AmeriCorps Week is going to be March 13th through the 19th. AmeriCorps Senior Week, AmeriCorps Week, they're doing it all. So this year, what we're going to do is we're going to do collection of used eyeglasses. How many of you have used eyeglasses at home that you just have laying around? I know I have several of them. I do too. I have several glasses around, just hanging around. So what we're going to do, we're going to partner with the Lions Club because that's what their focus on is blindness. So we want to make sure we're going to donate these used eyeglasses to them so that they can give them out to those that need them in the area, those that nationwide and internationally. So they do it all around by giving these eyeglasses away. They get them cleaned up and they do everything that needs to be done to them. So with that being said, we need volunteers. Tuesday, March 8th from 10 to 1, we need volunteers to make some boxes. So we have the donation boxes for those that are going to come in and donate glasses. And we need some posters made saying thank you for donating, just some simple stuff. So we need volunteers on March 8th from 10 to 1. And then Thursday, March 17th, we're going to have a drive-through. You know our drive-throughs. So we're going to have a drive-through from 10 to 2 so that everybody can come in. Y'all can come in. If y'all come in on that day and donate glasses, you do get your hour for coming in and donating glasses and then your transportation. So please come and drop off glasses if you have any on that date. Or if you know friends that have some, have them come to the center and drop them off. But we need volunteers to help with that, just to hold the posters up and say thank you for donating. So we're going to have some volunteers from RSVP, us and the Lions Club. So it's a big deal for us. You know, this is the first time Constance and I are doing something really this big. So we really need your support. Spreading the word that we're going to be doing this donation drive. We'll have some flyers if you want to pass them out at your church, or if you want to pass them out to friends and family, we can mail those to you and you can pass those out. But just let us know if you're real interested after 1 o'clock. Don't tell us now. After 1 o'clock, leave us a message. So you're going to leave us a message if you're interested in volunteering as a hospice volunteer. And you're going to leave us a message if you're interested in volunteering on the 8th or the 17th, or both. You can do both dates if you want to. So just wanted to let y'all know that we're going to do this big collection. So look around the house, see if you have any glasses that you're willing to donate that can help somebody else that can't afford glasses.
Get your friends and family's glasses.
Yeah, friends and families that may have glasses, get those, pick those up, have them bring them to you, whatever it may be. Or if they want to come by and drop them off themselves, whatever it may be. Ms. Jones, you had a question?
I'll be back. I'm in my meeting.
Dorothy Jones, did you have a question?
No, ma'am.
Got your hand up, Ms. Jones.
Okay, I saw your hand up. No, okay. Anybody else? Ms. Tiggs, did you have a question?
I think there's a leftover hand up.
Oh, the leftovers, okay. Does anybody have any questions?
Hey guys, if you come and volunteer and help us prep for the eyeglass collection, then you get 3 hours that you can put
on your timesheet
that day on March 8th from 10 to 1. If you want to come to the senior source, we'll have all the supplies there where you guys can help us get boxes ready and the signs ready for March 17th. So the volunteer day for prep is March 8th. The drive-through is March 17th.
And just wear your t-shirt if you're going to volunteer on the 17th. Just wear your AmeriCorps t-shirt. Either one. All right, ladies. There's no bingo today.
I don't have a AmeriCorps t-shirt.
Then we need to get you one, Ms. Bashir.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I have a quick question. Hello?
Okay, Ms. Bashir, we got some.
So
About
there's no...
This is Ms. Purefoy.
Yes, Ms.
I need
Purefoy.
help getting into the class that the next one at 12 o'clock, please.
Okay, we will. We'll get you there as soon as we try to move through this.
Thank
you. Get y'all signed up. Yeah. So there's no bingo today. The next bingo is going to be March 3rd. So you should get a reminder that there's no bingo today. You'll get a bingo reminders for March 3rd. There's not one today because of the weather. They weren't able to drive in today.
Oh, okay. So it's not till March the 3rd.
Right. They're going to do a talk about hope for tomorrow, Saturday, the 26th from 9 to 12:30. We will be able to give you credit for this. That's why you see the little symbol. You need to register. I will send a remind link so you can register for that class. But it is on Saturday, so just letting you know.
You guys have that information in your newsletter.
Yep, all this is from the newsletter. This is today's class. I will get y'all signed up. So it's Miss Pipkins and Miss Purefoy that needs to sign up for the class. We'll get you signed up.
Yeah, Miss Jackson, Jean Jackson, please.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
One more question. Are you all
Yes,
having
go ahead.
the stretch and bingo today?
No, there's
At
nothing today. No, there's no
Okay.
step thingy or bingo. No, not until March 3rd.
Okay, March 3rd. I got you. I hear you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Constance, you want to talk to us about this one?
Any step.
Any
Okay,
step.
some of you guys signed up for the nutrition program. Any step.
Yes.
And I contacted 6 of you and got 6 surveys completed. I think I have 2 people I need to do surveys with. Miss Jackson, Jean Jackson, the other one. One more person in the name. But I've gotten surveys done on those who signed, who originally said they wanted to participate. What it is, it's a nutrition program, healthy eating. And any step is wanting to give you guys recipes and all the supplies to make the recipe, get feedback from you. So the first step is we have to complete a survey. So if you're interested, it's a 3-month program. So each month they'll give you a new recipe and all the supplies. Before each recipe, you'll do another survey. So if you're interested in participating in that, let me know or let Melissa know, and we can get the first survey done by next week, hopefully. It's real quick, 15 questions. I ask you really quick. That's it. And then we'll be in touch with you for the next steps on where to pick the food up and all that information. Any questions?
Anybody have any questions?
So you're going to send us the survey?
No,
Miss Jackson,
she will contact you.
I'll do it with you on the phone.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'll do the first survey. I'll do with you. That's why I was calling you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I've done the survey with like 60 already. Yes, and so I just have 2 more that I have to do. And any others who would like to participate, let me know, and I can do the survey with you as well. Take your name, do the survey, and then we'll be in touch for the next steps. All right?
Okay.
Okay.
I have a question. Constance, you was reading from the newsletter. Have we got the new newsletter? Have they been sent out?
Yes, ma'am.
Because mine is February the 1st, volume 48,
No,
my last one.
Mine too.
What's on the it should be volume 49.
I got mine yesterday.
Oh, well.
You got yours yesterday?
Yes.
Did yours say volume 49 at the top?
Mine does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should say volume 49. Okay. And it should have a picture. What's on the cover this year?
Black History Heroes.
Okay, yes. That's the latest one.
Volume 48, Black History Month.
Black History Heroes.
Okay, well, I guess mine hasn't made it to me.
Okay.
And neither has Dorothy Jones.
Okay. Yours doesn't have the picture on the front with all the different Black heroes on it?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Well, it should
and
be
also
coming.
too, I need a March timesheet.
Let's see.
The March timesheet.
Timesheets will be in your timesheets are inside the newsletter.
Okay,
Yeah,
I haven't received it yet, Melissa. I haven't.
Yeah.
received
So once
anything.
once you get it, you'll have your newsletter.
Thank you.
I mean your timesheet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's coming, Miss Jones. Hopefully, if you don't get it by the middle of next week, let me know.
Thank you.
All right.
You're welcome. Right. They're going to have a basic computer orientation class starting on Wednesday, March 2nd. I will send this on a remind as well, so that if you want to sign up for the class, you can sign up for the class. And then there's going to be some more apps, Senior Planet. Some of y'all have already taken some of the Senior Planet classes, but here's some more Senior Planet. They're not until March 17th, so this will actually go out in your newsletter. So this will be in the next newsletter, these information, these dates. So is there any questions? I know it was a lot of information this time, but we have to give you all the information we could. Anybody have any questions?
Is this in service 2 hours? How many hours do we?
It's going to be 2 hours today.
Thank you.
Can we stay on this? Can we stay on this line for the 12 o'clock?
No, you're going to have to, you should get an email and then follow that link. That's the link that you need to go to. I already signed up Ms. Jackson, Ms. Purefoy, and Ms. Pickens. Y'all should have received an email.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, everybody. I just want to make sure everybody has any questions. Contact us after 1 o'clock to leave us those message if you're wanting to be a volunteer for hospice, if you want to volunteer for May 8th or 17th or both. Just let us know.
You said we're supposed to do what in regards to the upcoming class?
If you want, you should get an email telling you the link to the class for the next class.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Check your emails.
Okay. All righty. Thank you,
All right,
ma'am.
ladies, there's no reminder, there's no bingo today.
Miss Jackson, call me after 1.
All right, ladies. Y'all stay warm and stay safe,
Jackson,
okay?
give me a call after 1
Thank
o'clock.
you.
You're welcome.
All right. Call you on your office number or your Constance?
Yeah, call me on my office number. Yes, Miss Jackson.
Okay.
Call me on my office number after 1.
Okay, it would definitely be after 1 because I have to
since
recharge my phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
My charging up now.
I have charged my computer.
All right, ladies. Y'all stay safe and stay warm, okay?
All right.
All right.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Ladies.
Bye.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Okay, listen.
Yes, ma'am.
How do we put this on our timesheet, this next class? Do we put it?
You could just put it's going to be an hour. You could just put an hour, but I'll have it. I have the roster. She'll send me the roster. So I'll have it.
So we don't.
I'll know. Yeah, just put an hour, but I'll know that you're in that class because I get the roster and I add it to your timesheet.
Just you can add it to the training total, Ms. Haynes.
Yeah, the training. Yeah. Y'all be safe.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Bye, Miss Guy.
Bye, ladies.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Miss Cornell. Miss Cornell, I think you've been WOL through all this. I've been talking to you and I haven't gotten any response. Bye, Miss Jones. Miss Giles, you still there?